I want to go off into seemingly random directions and then bring it together again. So first, let me tell you about a professor that I used to teach. Let's just call him Tanaka. He was a very nice guy. He was maybe in his 50s or 60s, an older guy. He was an associate professor at a university very close to my school. And I liked teaching him. I liked the lessons I had with him. It was very nice. But to describe him simply, he was extremely humble. In fact, he was humble to this bizarre fault. I always got the impression when I was around him that he was kind of like apologizing for his own life. And it's funny that I say that because, as I said, he was very nice. I don't think he did anything that really necessitates, apology. Um, he was very much into Buddhism. He was into like Zazen. He would like to, do the Zazen poses and meditate, that kind of thing. And as far as I know, there was nothing really bad about anything he did in life. But as I said, his personality, he was always looking down, and it was so hard for him to kind of look up and look into your eyes. Like he felt that looking in your eyes would bother you, or it would impose on you, so he wouldn't do it. You may have heard of a trend among young Japanese, something called herbivores or grass eaters. The Japanese word is soushokuke, but the soushokuke are actually, they're younger people. This guy was an older guy, and he's married, so he's a little bit different. But in the same way as the grass eaters, the way he lives his life is he doesn't want to draw blood, as it were. I could never imagine this guy like getting mad or yelling at anybody or something like that. And then a couple times during our lessons, the whole class environment would flip on its ear like you wouldn't believe. So, typical conversation he would make would be about the weather. It's safe, it's relevant, nobody gets hurt. Then somehow we would wander into a conversation that seems pretty harmless on its surface. And the first time it happened, it was something about humans' eating habits, especially vegetarians. And then, bam! Suddenly, this humble guy, this quiet, sweet old man who apologizes for his existence, suddenly he's on the offensive and he's ready to fight to the death. So all the details of the conversation elude me, but he was basically insisting that man needs meat to survive. So for the animals that man slaughters on a daily basis, it's their fate. He kept saying that word, it's fate, it's fate. Man needs that food, it's just nature. And he was quite visibly agitated at this point. He had this kind of nervous energy to him. He was looking me dead in the eye, and his body language was so uncharacteristically aggressive. It just really tripped me out because it was so unlike him, and it came seemingly totally out of the blue. So I had to diffuse the situation and bring the conversation back to normal, but I kept that strange reaction with me because I really wanted to know what it was about. And it took several months, several lessons later before finally it resurfaced, but resurface it did. This time, our conversation, again, seemingly totally innocuous, it was about Japan's lifetime employment system. And I recall trying to explain to him how it seemed a bit funny from my American perspective that to put a person in a position where they can't be fired, it almost invites this attitude of complacency and laziness. And then, bam, he's back on the attack. He tells me how it's a great system, and because people have different abilities, some poor, some good, some great, and it's a good thing they can all come together and make some contribution to a team, and on and on and on. And once again, I had to really work to calm him down because he was quite agitated. Now, let me take a step to the side and talk about the next topic I intend to cover, which is the main theme this video is about. Ironically, there is no quick, convenient way for me to state simply just how convenient Japan is. It's so foundational to Japanese thinking and acting and the way they live their lives. But honestly, I don't even know if it's something they consciously think of or they just instinctively feel that way. But the idea of convenience is definitely in the collective conscious. Japanese people feel, and again, I'm not sure if it's implicitly or explicitly, but they think that for every problem in life, there is a simple push of a button way to solve it. And if that button doesn't exist right now, it's only a matter of time before somebody makes it. Everything is convenient. Your house is convenient. There's a convenient machine for making rice, which Japanese eat every day. There's a small number of TV channels, so you can conveniently keep up with most of what's going on in Japan. There's a convenient futon instead of a bed that conveniently folds up to clear space when you're done. Outside your home, there are convenient trash bins, separated and conveniently labeled so you can easily recycle your trash, and a convenient schedule which tells you which day which item is being picked up. The stores are convenient. Supermarkets, restaurants, and convenience stores are on almost every corner, and probably a convenient few minutes walk from your house. Stores conveniently sell bento lunchboxes with a complete and nutritious Japanese meal, which come conveniently packaged with disposable chopsticks, and which the staff will conveniently microwave for you, which conveniently takes only about 5 to 10 seconds. Outside most shops and around the neighborhood, there are conveniently placed vending machines, which sell many items conveniently for just one 100 yen coin. And conveniently, next to the vending machine, there's a little receptacle for bottles and cans. The transportation is convenient. There's a convenient machine at the local train station, which is usually conveniently close to your home, and conveniently goes to almost any place in Tokyo worth going to. And this machine conveniently sells tickets for the train. Or even more conveniently, there's a card you can buy with an IC chip in it that can be scanned so you don't have to buy a ticket. Conveniently, this chip is so strong, you don't even have to take it out of your wallet or purse. Just put it near the sensor. And conveniently, you can also use that card in convenience stores and even at those previously mentioned vending machines. And that's not all. There are conveniently marked lines telling you where to line up, keeping you a safe distance from the edge of the platform. Be sure to step to one side if you ride the escalator, so as to open up a side so people in a hurry can conveniently walk past. Senior citizens, are you in need of a place away from all those scary young people and their rock and roll? Don't worry, we've conveniently prepared seats for you called silver seats, also conveniently for pregnant ladies and handicapped people. Ladies, tired of all the pinching and groping in all those cars jam-packed with businessmen? Never fear, we've conveniently prepared a car for you during the busiest rush hours. Attention, every standing passenger. Please hold on to the conveniently placed bars and handles as the train sometimes stops suddenly. Feeling bored on that long train ride? Don't worry about it. There are any number of convenient handheld devices like cell phones, gaming systems, tablets, iPods, etc. that can help you while the time away. Hell, even my electronic dictionary came conveniently equipped with over 400 books to read. Now, I'm pretty sure that by now my point has been made loud and clear, but I gotta say, even if that sounds like a whole hell of a lot of convenience, well, I'm still just scratching the surface. I mean, I haven't even gotten into bathrooms or Japanese toilets, which I could spend an hour talking about. Or hell, Japanese packaging is a topic I could build a whole university course around. Now, let's go back to our friend, the old Mr. Tanaka again. The funny thing about him, and others I met who think a lot like him, is that I fully believe I could go up to him, grab him by the neck, shake him around, and he wouldn't fight back. I could slap him, call him a coward inches from his face, I could talk about how he mama teeth so yellow, when a bitch smile, traffic slow down. And nothing. He wouldn't fight back. He wouldn't argue. Hell, he might even agree. But you take that same timid guy and you challenge his convenience, and that's when he draws his sword and dives into combat. Remember when I said our conversation was over seemingly innocuous or tame topics? Well, I took them to heart, and I kept turning them over and over in my head, trying to puzzle out what it was about people eating animals or lifetime employment in Japan that set him off, because I really wanted to know why that prompted such a huge reaction from him. And then it occurred to me. They're both things that are well ingrained into the society, but if you really get down to it, they are, at heart, unnecessary. In the most essential sense, people can live without meat. It's the kind of convenience very few of us, myself included, would ever give up, but I'm under no illusions that it is a convenience and it's not 100% necessary to survival. The same with lifetime employment. Is it a good system? Maybe yes, maybe no. Is it the only way to do things? No. Would it be hard to abolish and start a new system? Well, undoubtedly yes. Now, to be clear, I'm not at all saying that convenience is in of itself a bad thing. Technology has made life in all countries, not just Japan, a lot easier and more convenient. But I do think that it's important that people understand that life can still go on, even if you have to do things the hard way. I have a great deal of appreciation for the convenience of the world, but I don't think that man would die without them. It sucks not to have a car, but walking to a place isn't impossible. It sucks not being able to look something up on Google, but there are other ways to find information. And it sucks not having a cell phone to call someone anytime, anywhere. But communication doesn't stop with cell phones. Oftentimes, riding the train through the city, I would have this instinctive disquiet inside me, directed at all the conveniences around me. There were some times when I was riding the train and I felt everything here is so convenient, so why do I feel so bad? Something about it just felt so empty and sterile. And while I feel like others felt the same way on some deep level, I also felt like none of them would allow themselves to voice that feeling. Rather, it was much more common to find people like Mr. Tanaka who would rather fight to the death to defend the convenience rather than admit that maybe there's something wrong with things the way they are. Now, my frustration with the whole Japanese obsession with convenience reached its highest point when I saw an ad for something that was advertised as a speed funeral. So basically, they get you in, get you out and buried, no fuss, no muss. My brain just exploded trying to explain to my wife how horrifying the concept was and how everyone readily accepted it. I don't know, I couldn't believe that. It was like the whole idea that your life can be dismissed as thoughtlessly as going into a store to buy toilet paper or something. Like your whole life is just a mess to be cleaned up and not something to be taken to heart, not something that requires deep introspection and emotional investment. It's a quick money transaction, so we can get it over with as quickly as possible so everyone can quickly return to their convenient lives. Thanks for watching.